Hola chavos, welcome to Bilingual Badass, where I help native English speakers become conversationally fluent in Mexican Spanish. My name is Levi Flint. In today's episode, we're going to dive into the Mexican Spanish expression, no mames. This is a vulgar expression. However, it is extremely used, very widely used amongst Mexicans in Mexico, of course, but also here in the United States, or if you live in Canada. A lot of Mexicans up in Canada increasingly, so you're going to hear it. If you tune into Mexican cinema, not so much telenovelas because they try to avoid, vulgarities and stuff like that. But in real world Spanish, like you definitely hear no mames all the time. And if you have no idea what this means, if you've never heard it before, don't worry. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to explain it. And then whenever you get out there in the real world, you're going to definitely hear it now that your ear is a little bit more attuned to this expression. Before diving into this episode of the podcast, the very first episode of this podcast, I just want to give you guys a little bit of explanation about who I am and what this podcast is going to be. So like I said, my name is Levi Flint. If you guys know who I am, you probably remember me from the Mexican Fluency Podcast. That was my previous podcast where I had conversations with my Mexican wife, Rennie, in Spanish. That's pretty much what the show was. Unfortunately, Spotify ended up deleting my podcast. I'm not sure what happened. I've tried to get the podcast back, but I've given up. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to start anew with a new brand, a new show. And I think that it's going to be really great. What I'm going to do though, if you guys do know that podcast, I've been able to grab these files, and I have a lot of our conversations from the past, and I'll be able to upload those to this podcast as if it was this show. So you'll be able to hear those Mexican Spanish conversations that I have with my wife. They're really good. A lot of them are really good. I'll be using the best ones as part of Bilingual Badass, this new podcast. So hopefully you guys get a lot of joy and a lot of use out of that. This podcast is going to be instructional. I'm going to be teaching Mexican Spanish expressions. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to say certain things and breaking down the grammar. And we're also going to be doing telenovela breakdown scenes, okay? And I'll be also putting those over on that podcast, Telenovela Spanish. Also, I'll be adding in conversations with my wife and also in the future with other guests on the show that speak real conversational Español Mexicano. Without further ado, let's dive into the expression no mames. No mames es la expresión del día. Okay, la expresión no mames is basically something that we would say whenever there is surprise or disbelief. Somebody says something crazy, somebody does something crazy, no mames, or no mames way. No mames way is like, get the fuck out of here, dude. No way, dude. You're kidding, dude. It doesn't have a great translation. Literally, no mames means to suck, because the verb mamar is to suck, right? However, just because it literally means something, right, in Spanish, doesn't mean that it actually means that in real world conversation. So like, if I say in English, beating, not to beat a dead horse to death, or not to continue beating a dead horse, I'm referring to like not to keep staying on the same point over and over and over, So clearly I'm not really saying anything about beating any sort of horse, a dead horse, but within conversation, it means that. No mames is very similar. So keep in mind, literally it's like don't suck. No mames. You're telling that person don't suck. But actually it's like surprise or disbelief. No way. You're kidding me. And like I said, it's vulgar, right? So it's really like no fucking way. Or get the fuck out of here, dude. So I probably should have warned this podcast is going to be vulgar. So hopefully it's not always going to be vulgar, not every episode, but it's going to be, because that is real Spanish. Like, just like real English, you have to learn all the bad expressions. You have to learn all the bad words too, or you're going to be totally lost in real conversation. Or if you're listening in on real conversation, you're watching a movie, you're going to be totally lost. So keep this in mind, okay? So number one, surprise or disbelief. Number two, annoyance or frustration. So you've got to be kidding me, or are you effing serious? Or you gotta be effing, we do say this in English. You're shitting me, right? So I would say no mames is in line with that as well. Annoyance or frustration. So if, let's say this, let's say if my wife leaves the stove on, the gas stove on, and she's done it for the third time. I go downstairs, the gas stove is on. Oye, no mames, Reni. My wife's name is Renata. Reni. No mames, Reni. Lo hiciste otra vez? You did it again? Okay? You've got to be kidding me. You got to be shitting me. What are you doing, right? No mames. So that's annoyance or frustration. Number 3, it can also be used in amusement. So if I say, let's say a friend makes a really hilarious, crude joke. No mames, no mames, güey. No mames. You're, shut the F up. No way. You're effing kidding me, right? No mames. And also, disbelief or bad luck. And this kind of goes in line with surprise or disbelief, right? Or frustration as well, right? So if I have a friend, or let's say it's my brother, who goes, oh, se me cayó el celular. Oh, I dropped my phone. Se me cayó el celular otra vez. I dropped my phone again. No mames, güey. No mames, otra vez? Dude, come on. Or what the fuck? So this is a hard expression. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I am going to be putting up my breakdown here. So you guys will actually be able to see it. But for those of you guys just listening, keep in mind it's number 1, surprise or disbelief. Number 2, annoyance or frustration. Number 3, amusement. It can be used in a joking, fun way. Or number 4, disbelief or bad luck. Okay. All no mames. No mames. So it can be used as a joking way. Ah, ha, 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 no mames. Or, wait, no mames. Or to my wife, I said, Reni, no mames. It's vulgar, but if you use it with a stronger tone, it's more annoyance and frustration. A happier tone, amusement, disbelief, surprise, right? Hopefully this makes sense. Let's dive into some mini dialogues here, okay? Okay, so I'm going to be both people. In the future, hopefully, I can have somebody like my wife here with helping me out with some of these dialogues. Okay, dialogue number 1, shock or disbelief. Güey, vi a mi ex con su nuevo novio. Es mi primo. Dude, I saw my ex with her new boyfriend. It's my cousin. No mames. No effing way. Okay? Shock or disbelief. Number 2, frustration. Se me olvidaron las llaves adentro del carro. I locked my keys inside the car. No mames, güey. Are you effing serious, dude? Or no effing way, dude. Joking or playful. Güey, le hablé a tu mamá por error y le dije mi amor. Bro, I accidentally called your mom and said my love, my dear. No mames. Ha ha ha. Shut the F up. No way. No way. Number 4, disappointment. El América perdió otra vez. Okay. America, which is a soccer club in Mexico, lost again. Oof. No mames, cabrón. Ah, come on, man. No effing way, man. No mames, cabrón. Okay, real important here. No mames is vulgar, so don't use it in formal settings. It's not used in formal settings. It's among friends, and it's also everywhere. So it's going to be among friends, among people like enemies, people you meet, and you're telling them dude, what the fuck? No mames, güey. No mames. No mames, cabrón. Softer versions of this exist. This is very important. Softer version of no mames that can be used almost everywhere. No manches. Okay? Remember, this is the PG-13 version. No manches. Or no inventes. So no manches is let's say PG-13. No inventes is the PG version, the G or PG version. So, no mames, vulgar. No manches, PG-13. No inventes. This is going to be the G, PG version. This is, no inventes is what they're going to say on a telenovela, for example. No inventes. Super, you can say that anywhere. But they're all used in the same context. Okay? Keep that in mind. So, keep this in mind. No mames. Super useful expression. Hopefully you guys got a lot out of this first episode. I'm gonna be adjusting these episodes as time goes on, but I want it to be both instructional, so I'm actually doing some teaching with an episode, and then I also want to do a breakdown of telenovelas. Okay, so we'll do that in other episodes. We're gonna call that telenovela Spanish lessons, and then I'm also gonna be posting conversations with myself and a native Mexican Spanish speaker. That's the format of this podcast. And I think that as time goes on, it will help you to become a true bilingual badass. And we're going to be zeroing in on one country Spanish, which is Mexico, in this podcast, because that's what I know. And that's what's the most useful for Americans. If you're from the United States, by far the most useful is Mexican Spanish, unless you really want to dial in on Colombia or another country, or Spain, or something like that, and you're going to be spending a lot of time there. But we have by far the most Spanish speakers in this country, and obviously on our border, and the country that is connected to us is Mexico, of course. So we're going to focus in on that, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Make sure to check out my YouTube channel, Bilingual Badass. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, at Bilingual Badass, the website as well. And I have courses. I'm writing a book. I should be done with the book by the end of 2025, and it's gonna be a trilogy. That's actually my plan. So I think it's gonna be really fun. But I've got to get the podcast going again, guys. Thank you so much. If you guys are former listeners, welcome back. I'm happy to be back. I'm really disappointed about what happened with the other show. However, I think this is maybe it's a chance to do something better, something more useful, something different than what is already out there. So anyways, I will ramble on in the next episode of the podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I'm going to be going for at least 2 episodes to start, 2 episodes per week, and then we're going to expand to 3. Okay, that's the goal, that's the plan. Nos vemos muy pronto, amigos. No mames. Nos vemos, cabrones. I will see you guys in the next episode. Adios.